We talking shit.
1, 2, 3.
You haven't done that in a while.
No.
You've been skipping it. That's why it's been sounding like we have a roll of nickels in our mouths for the last like 2 weeks. You know, I'm rocking the Packers hat today. You notice that? Packers are killing it right now. 10-4.
Wow.
Yeah, wild card berth imminent. So we're gonna be a problem in the playoffs. Just saying. So you don't have to rock the Packers.
Got to show that support, dude. Your whole
go Pack go
garage build out, man. It's all Packers.
Yeah, man. Yeah, all Packers, man. Yeah, dude. So I follow a couple people on Instagram. Drew Cave is the biggest one. He's like friends with Charles Woodson and shit. Like he's legit, and he lives in Wisconsin, and I guess a lot of the houses, or the majority of the houses there, have basements. This dude has a huge, and the house, if you look at it from the outside, it's not a huge house. Yeah. But it has a basement that's probably the footprint of the entire home, right? Yeah. And this thing is, he has everything. He has a scoreboard. He has like a golf simulator. He has, it's like basically a sports bar. It's a sports bar. He has a full bar in there. It's like everyone from the neighborhood comes in, watches the game on his place on Sundays, and it's just legit. So
that's cool.
I wanted to do something like that. There's another one, Packers House. The Packers House. He's another dude, and I think he lives in Wisconsin too. He has a dope little setup, man. So mine's a work in progress. It looks cool. Go to my Instagram and see it, but it's it's good for now.
Yeah, dude, I miss basements.
Yeah, man, like, basements are cool.
Before I moved down here, like I just assumed every house had a basement, and that was like not in Virginia Beach.
It used to be that way.
Yeah.
Portsmouth, there's still a lot of homes with basements.
Really?
But Virginia Beach, and a little bit of Norfolk, but Virginia Beach, anything that's built past 1980, you're not getting a basement here in Hampton Roads.
Dang it.
Yeah. So.
Dang it.
But you can build whatever you want.
Yeah.
For the most part. Man, welcome to another edition of the Alpha Geek Podcast. We are your hosts. I'm Antoine Brett.
And I'm Taras Denisenko. And I got to pipe in about this drone thing. So as a just casual drone pilot, I can no longer fly my drones. And because the government passed this law where you have to have a license, you have to register all this stuff. So this whole thing about the drones, like the government doesn't know, man, that ain't, I'm sorry. I don't believe that for a second.
Is it BS?
Oh, completely. 6-foot drones flying around and they're not registered or they don't know who the pilots are. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. So as just a casual, like I stopped flying drones because you have to get a pilot's license now. Mm-hmm. And
your drone was cool too.
Yeah.
You got a cool drone.
I did. It was cool. But so so I don't know. Any thoughts on it?
I feel like it should be tiers. Like if you have like under a certain weight, a certain size, goes a certain height, you should be able to fly that with no license. It's like the equivalent of being able to ride a skateboard versus driving a car down the, you should be able to fly a drone. But then you have the companies like is it iDrone or whatever? They have those big giant drones. They fly them out of the Walmart shopping center parking lot. Those things are massive, and those things sound like a swarm of bees coming at you when they take off. So I can kind of maybe see something like that.
Well, I get it. Like, and also just from a commercial drone, my little one, like a DJI. I have a DJI Mavic, and I could see if it falls out of the air and it hits somebody. I mean, there's some level of danger to it. But the crazy thing about this whole thing in New Jersey, though, is my drone will not go up in the air if I'm in restricted airspace. Like here in Virginia Beach. Yeah, I can't, I could fly it out of the studio here, but if we live close near to Oceana, it doesn't take off.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. See, that's scarier than the fact that you're not supposed to be flying it in the first place. Yeah. That they can just, so what is it? Is it just like some sort of like software that doesn't allow, like why does it?
It's just because everything is GPS controlled. So the GPS just tells it that it's restricted airspace and you'll go up, I'll go up a foot and then it just automatically lands.
That's great.
It's wild.
That's nuts. That's
wild.
nuts.
Yeah.
Dude, man.
So that's why I think
Big brother.
100%. And like, and if anybody who's listening, if you're a drone pilot, like, you know that the Senate or the FBI or whatever, they're like, we don't know who these drones are or who's piloting these drones. Man, they do, and they ain't saying. So.
Well, I mean, airspace is under scrutiny right now just because all the others. I mean, you have Amazon delivering packages via drone. And that might be some of it too. They want to, these larger companies that do offer or are going to offer some sort of air delivery. Maybe they're kind of saying, hey, now you got to pay.
Yeah,
everybody got to pay.
Everybody got to pay.
Mm-hmm. Man, that's crazy.
Yeah. So any
well, I guess I'm not getting a drone. Babe, don't give me a drone for Christmas.
Yeah, even if it's over, I can't remember, it's 20 ounces or something like that. You need to register it and you need to have a license to fly it. So kids who used to want to be flying drones,
really? So there are some drones that are still flyable without a license. They have to be very small.
Very small.
Yeah, because 20 ounces ain't shit. That's that's nothing.
Yeah.
It's like a little over a pound.
Yep. So I don't know, but speaking of aircrafts, Skeleton Crew, anything?
Nope, I haven't watched it.
No.
I have not watched it.
No.
I told you I canceled my Disney Plus subscription.
Oh, you did? I don't
know. I just got so upset with Disney.
Okay.
Yeah,
not hard to do.
Yeah, there's so much going on, and the prices of. For me, the juice wasn't worth the squeeze.
Okay.
The prices of the subscription, and if I really wanted to watch something, I can find ways to watch it,
Sure.
So, and I just haven't been that interested in it lately. And the in-game stuff, I still have some of the physical media. I still have to blow the dust off the DVD player from time to time, put that stuff in. But you can, I just... Stopped it.
Well, not that it's worth getting a subscription back with Disney, but Skeleton Crew, I know it's getting some flack from like some other YouTubers, but I love it. It's good.
So what type of feedback are we getting from the interwebs about the show? I haven't heard any reviews or anything.
Yeah, it's funny. Like I don't. Everyone's still kind of after like the characters, like, or some people are saying you're recycling the same story, which is a story of success when it comes to Star Wars. Like that's when you try to change it is when fans are just like, but I think the feeling of the show, it doesn't feel like Star Wars. It feels more like a kids show or like a Saturday special.
Yeah.
But to me, it feels like Goonies, and it feels like nostalgic 80s adventure show, like more Indiana Jones-ish kind of thing. And because it's pirates and treasure hunting. So it's cool. And Jude Law plays a great character. Like you think he's a Jedi, but we don't know. So
really?
Yeah.
How many episodes?
The fourth one just aired as of recording this. The fourth one aired yesterday, but I didn't watch it yet. So that'll be my watch for tonight.
Yeah, so it'll probably be 8, right? I mean, most of these shows are there somewhere between 6 and 8 episodes. Yeah. So because they land in the limited series, which is a whole different category from a series. When award season starts to come around, they have a higher possibility of winning awards if it's a limited series. Same as Penguin. Same as I feel like everything is coming out now. It's 8 to 10 episodes. There's nothing. Those shows that are like 20 episodes long, like evidently. Daredevil Born Again is going to be 22 episodes. They probably have some sort of mid-season split. Yeah. But that's going to be 22 episodes. And that's the first show I can remember from a streaming platform that's going to be that long. So,
okay.
Be interesting.
So just some feedback. We a listener of ours, because of us talking about Penguin, ended up binging watching another Penguin, and they're friends of mine too, Kate and Joe, but they're in Rochester, New York. They watched the whole thing, and they loved
Kate and Joe.
Yeah, they loved it. So.
Yeah, dude, it's a good show, man. That show sold itself, though, man. I'm glad we were able to put a bug in their ear. But man, that show was so good,
so good.
And now that so that's a good segue, actually. So now that we have the James Gunn version of the DCU starting to kick off. The day is Wednesday. What's the day? The 19th, the 18th?
Today is the 18th.
18th.
Yep.
So tomorrow, Thursday, we get the drop of the first teaser trailer for the new Superman movie.
Oh.
Right? So we get that, I think, coming out like 6 o'clock in the morning or something like that. So, and people are really excited. I mean, just the trailer that came out today, all it is like a shot of the planet, a shot of who we think Lois Lane is in the movie, and like just people on the street. It got something like 40 million 40 million views within like 2 or 3 hours. It was ridiculous. So it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, what do you think? Do you have any high hopes for it? Or
I do. Okay. Just because I saw the first couple episodes of Creature Commandos. Came out on HBO Max. Love it. Really good show. Definitely adult. It's not as animated, but it ain't some shit you want your 5-year-old daughter watching. And James Gunn just seems to be able to tap what goes on in these properties and just transfer it to like a live action film and do it in a way that does it just and stays so close. Even if it doesn't like verbatim follow the story, it sticks close enough to where we're like, the fans view as familiar. And it's like, oh, a little change here, we're okay with that. Yeah. And he just knows how to do it, man. So I'm optimistic about everything coming from the new DCU, and I can't wait to see the trailer tomorrow.
Yeah, because it's been like people have been hating on that suit it's like from what I've seen, it's looked terrible. But
and so we saw that suit, and we don't know if those are unedited, undoctored, just teaser, because the suit in the poster for the movie came out on Monday, and the suit in that poster looks not totally different, but different, very, very different from what we saw in that first photo that came out of him kind of taking off the boots in the suit and everything. So movie magic. It could look totally different from both of the pictures that we've seen. So
I will see if I can pull up a picture of the suit, but I will say like Henry Cavill's suit though in the photos always look good. Yeah. So
his suit looks good, man. You know whose suit looked good? Who was the guy that played? He was in Superman Returns. What was that actor's name? He ended up playing the Atom in the Arrowverse.
Oh, I don't remember.
What's that actor's name? I thought his suit was cool. He was like the closest thing that we had gotten to that point to like Christopher Reeves. Type of,
yeah.
So, but at the end of the day, half of the suit is practical, and then the other half is all CG stuff. So
But Henry Cavill's suit, like it seemed like it was. On my Instagram pops up how movies are made, and there's like really cool. Like I love watching like production value stuff and how they do stuff. And every time I saw Henry Cavill's suit, it always looked good. It always looked good when he was hanging on a wire, and he's just like, dude looked. I mean, whoever designed that suit was awesome.
It was a cool suit. And I mean, it doesn't hurt that you jacked for that.
Yeah. So. But like, let me see if I can pull up this one, because I think that's the.
Reddit. You can't trust Reddit.
No.
No, I'm just joking. But that is him offset. He's on set obviously, but he's there's no editing, there's no photoshopping on that. He's just kind of walking through set, which is again, and we touched on this last year. I think these productions give the fans too much pre-movie access. Yeah, like we see everything. We saw set photos from Deadpool, Wolverine, and we saw set photos from Thor with Christian Bale, and then everybody was people got pissed off that Gore the God Butcher didn't look like Gore the God Butcher way before the movie even came out. Yeah, so they went into the movie like, we're not gonna like this shit. Yeah, I think while people like us, we cover the stuff like that, but I think just Hollywood needs to give us a little less access to lead ups to these films, man.
Yeah,
I want to be surprised a little bit.
I don't know if that'll ever happen.
Yeah, well, because there's too much clickbait. There's too much. Yeah, it's too much social media, medium, like monetary value to having these images out there.
But it seems like the studios have embraced the idea of leaking information. Like no matter what the project is, they're just like, well, especially the big studios. Like Disney just supposedly leaked that they're changing one of their Disney Plus shows that's for kids because they're seeing that the way society has moving into the future, that they're going to take away one of the roles of a coach or a teacher or something like that would have been upsetting to parents. So they're like, we hear Disney believe that parents should make decisions on how they raise their kids and stuff. And so I don't know, but supposedly that was leaked information.
All right. So now we're talking about Disney. This just brought up, and I don't know if this is true. And so in the comments, tell me. So Frozen 3 is coming out.
Yeah.
They are making Frozen 3. And evidently Elsa is going to be marrying a woman in Frozen 3.
Wow.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's true. I read it today, and we all know the internet.
Yeah.
So if you do know, message me message us in the comments and let us know if that's actual.
Yeah, that'd be that probably, I don't know. That's a weird thing.
It's so obviously, both of us, we're staying super in the middle of this, right? But there's going to be a lot of people. I'm almost afraid for Disney, and I feel like because let me say this as carefully as possible. We don't care, right?
Right.
But there are people that do care,
sure.
And I want to know what type of blowback is going to happen, and just the fact that we are talking about this, like Disney has been under a very, very watchful magnifying glass when it comes to the whole DEI. So I just want to know what you guys, what people think, what we're thinking about this, because obviously we know that this is not one of those shows like a SpongeBob SquarePants. Like even though it's a cartoon,
right?
Like we go and watch this and we're heavily entertained. There's a lot of humor that kids don't get that adults get.
Yeah.
Right. This is not that. This is 99.9% driven to children.
Yep.
And so I want to know what you guys think. So.
The whole Disney and DEI thing, it's come to, I think everyone knows now that Bob Iger originally started pushing the company that way because he wanted to run for president.
Okay.
And he was trying to show the Democratic Party that, listen, this is what I believe in. I will go this far. I will destroy a company for the sake of making a political run. And obviously that's backfired, but yeah. So I don't know if that's still going to be accurate, because I feel like whether Disney has good intentions or not, I don't know if they're really trying to help the society go in a certain way of being like more understanding and more empathetic or whatever. I think it's just they're still driven by power and greed and money.
I can answer that question for you. No, they're not trying to help anybody. They're trying to get paid. Listen, if they can frame it and mask it in a way that makes us believe that they're trying to help society or make the world a better place, whatever, even better, because it's just more zeros for them.
Right.
But let's be real about what the sentiment of capitalism is. So
and Bob Iger's no hero. He ain't no hero. But
man,
I don't know if we should step into this one, but speaking of CEOs, like the whole thing that happened with the United Healthcare guy.
Oh,
dude.
Yeah. That's crazy. I haven't been keeping up ever since they say they caught the guy, but then it wasn't the actual guy.
They got the guy.
They got the guy.
Right. And they're arraigning him, and he's extradited to New York. He's got an attorney, and so I don't know. But like the whole liberal side of the entertainment, like Jimmy Kimmel was like making a joke of this guy getting assassinated. I'm just like, and even oh my God, I just forgot the comedian's name. He was on Saturday Night Live this weekend. Will Smith slapped him in the face.
Chris Rock.
Chris Rock.
Man,
Chris Rock.
You forgot Chris Rock's name. It's Chris Rock.
Chris Rock. Yeah.
What happened with Rock?
Well, it was like Jamie Foxx. I was like, we watched a Jamie Foxx special, but Chris Rock was he was like saying it's terrible that this guy got assassinated, but he's like, some drug dealers get killed, and I was just like, oh, that was kind of funny, but I was like, oh, I don't know.
Oh man. Yeah. Well, okay. So it's a comedian's job to, to find humor in just about anything, and it's like, unfortunately, it seems like the more like severe the incident, the more humor that people try to pull from it.
Yeah.
Right. And so,
I don't know.
I don't know if it's like one of those like is it too soon type of thing, but
it just seems kind of like it. If it was anything else, would you make a joke out of it? I mean, it's just, I don't know. He's still a person. He still had a wife and kids.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Family. Yeah, that it was weird. I don't know who's keeping up with the story, but evidently because of United Healthcare, right?
Yeah,
United Healthcare had the highest denial rate of any insurance company by almost double.
Oof.
Like their denial rate was 32%. The average insurance company is 16%.
Dang.
Yeah. So they were just like, fuck you. Get out of here. Beat it. Yeah. It's like, so, and we all have our beliefs about insurance companies, and, so it's nothing new.
No.
Just
like Disney, they're in it to make money. I mean, it's not, do you care about our health? I don't know. When I got my 2 surgeries, I got the bill, and I was like, this thing costs how much money? I was like, what?
Yeah, man. And so I did hear that because the number one question is, where is this dude security? This is a,
right.
multi-billion dollar, maybe close to $1 trillion company.
Yeah. And
where's this dude security? Well, evidently, he always has security when he's home, which is, I guess, in Minnesota. Mm-hmm. There are home bases in Minnesota. But when he travels, he doesn't take security with him. Never has. I was like, I feel like it's supposed to be the other way around.
Right?
Like when you travel.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe just people don't recognize him out. Like,
man.
I don't know.
Man, well, it's rough. I mean, I think from a social standpoint, right is right, wrong is wrong. But I think us as a society, we have a hard time feeling sorry for a guy in that position, right? And like you said, it is terrible. Before we even move forward, it's terrible. He had a family, he had children. The way it went down was like punk as shit. Shoot him in the back type thing. So, so
that was wild. But it's funny too. It's like somebody else made mention that like this guy, the FBI or whatever, the authorities have found him. They found all the evidence. They have everything, but yet they know nothing about the guy that tried to assassinate Trump. That's it's like,
they don't know anything about the guy.
But it's so weird. It's just like, and it's like the whole drone thing. Like what, the amount of like just questionable things that like, what do we really know?
Yeah.
What is really happening?
Yeah, I mean, we'll never know just because there is, and so by keeping, oh man, I'm not even gonna go down that. I'm not. Let's move on.
Well, we talk about entertainment, but sometimes these events need to be acknowledged or whatever. But.
Yeah, 100%, man, and it's like so it's very retroactive the way we get this information, right? So we react to what we hear, but we like what happens between the incident and the time that us as America and as society hear about whatever happened. I mean, I'm a conspiracy theorist, and I always have been.
Yeah.
So I'm always one of those people who's like, did it really go down like that? So, you know, maybe I'm not the best, not the best person to speak their mind on a podcast about movies and comic books about political shit. But
well, if I want to turn it back around to comic books and video games, the show Secret Level, I think I talked about it last time. I started watching it. Dude, I was binging on it.
Really?
It's so good. It's so good. It's so smart. The episodes are like, I think they're just like 15 minutes long or 20 minutes long. And it takes the concept of the video game. Like, for instance, there was an episode called Pac-Man.
Okay.
And it was about the video game Pac-Man, but graphic and weird and just interesting. It was like, the idea is this: you see this alien is walking around this planet, and there's a sphere that's following him that reminded me from one of those horror movies back in the 80s and 90s. And it was just feeding him information saying, you got to eat, you got to eat, you got to eat, you got to eat to survive. And he would just be killing these animals. And then eventually he makes it to this exit doorway that this sphere is trying to get him out to. And this huge ape-like thing comes down, looks like a monster, and just smacks him, and he's like down and dead. And then the sphere gets into his body, and then the thing starts morphing into what looks like the Pac-Man. These huge jaws open up and starts to like attack the ape, which probably is Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
And then the guy is just like ripping out the sphere inside him. It was so well done. But there's like Counter-Strike is on there, Warhammer 40,000 or Warhammer, and a couple other games, but it's cool. So if you got time, it was just
I'll check it out tonight. Actually, I've been looking for stuff now that we just finished. What did I just finish? Yellowstone. Tulsa King, Yellowstone.
Okay.
So,
Yellowstone. Yeah. Don't say it.
All right, I'm not gonna tell you. Yeah, it's too new.
I need to see it.
Speaking of Yellowstone, they are doing a spinoff with Beth and Rip.
Oh.
They're doing a Beth and Rip spinoff. So a lot of people have mixed feelings about Beth, but everyone loves the Rip character. So so it should be.
What's the problem with Beth character? What is the people like or don't like?
She's too much. She's a mean girl.
Yeah.
She's just a mean girl. And some people vibe with that. It's like, girl power to the umpteenth degree type thing.
Yeah.
So I get that. But some of the shit, she's just an asshole too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm indifferent. I remember her from Flight, the Denzel Washington movie when he was an alcoholic. That's Flight, right?
I don't remember.
Yeah. That's the movie.
Okay.
She was in that, and I was like, oh, she's a pretty good actress. And then when she, years and years later, Yellowstone comes out, it's like, oh, I haven't seen her since. But
Did she play a mean girl in that as well?
No. She plays just a lady who I think might be a prostitute.
Oh, okay.
Might be a drug addict, but kind of helps Denzel through this whole. Spoiler alert! For people who haven't seen this movie that was 20 years old, he's an alcoholic, was a great pilot, and he ends up landing this plane while drunk.
Yeah, I remember that.
In a way that no one they ran like 10,000 simulations, and his was the only one that could have successfully landed the plane. So they were gonna let him off. He was like, just go in here and say this and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
You'll be a hero. And then he goes at the end of this damn movie, after he's been lying about being an alcoholic the whole movie, he gets in front of Congress and wants to confess that he's drunk right now.
Oh my God. Yeah. I do remember that movie. It's been a while. Man, Denzel, he's the man.
Denzel's a man. He was in saw Gladiator 2.
Yeah.
Watched it last night. Me and Jamie went to the movies last night to see it. And it was good. It was a good movie.
Good.
I did think that they did play to the original Gladiator a little bit too much. There was a whole lot of recalls to Russell Crowe, Maximus Decimus Meridius.
Okay.
And what happened in the movie. So and Ridley Scott, I feel like he's been doing it long enough, but I do think they kind of pandered to the fans of the original a little bit too much.
Yeah,
but it was a good watch.
So do you think it was more of just a cash grab and just like
sure, yeah, okay. Anytime you do a sequel to a movie 16 years later, of course it's a cash grab. Like movies that are super big, like Avatar, for example. Well, how long did it take us to get a new Avatar? What, 10 years? And now they're doing 3 more of them, or 2 more of them. So it's like,
but a director like Ridley Scott doesn't seem to be, I don't know, maybe he is, but he doesn't seem to be that kind of guy. We're just like, I'm just going to put out this piece of stuff just to get money.
Sure, but if when you're at you're Ridley Scott and you sit at dinner with this studio head and he's like, all right, we need another hit. Really, we need another hit. What are you going to do for us? You're like, well, I got nothing. I've been in Tahiti for the last 3 years. Well, Gladiator was big for us. You can do another one of those. Like,
how much?
Yeah, exactly. So
how much? Well, what was was it, what did they say was coming out 20 years later?
28 years later.
28 years later.
I can't wait to see that because what's Taylor Quicksilver from Marvel. Is that John? Not John. I'm about to say Jonathan Taylor Thomas. That's not the guy though. Aaron Taylor.
It is. In 28 years later is Cillian Murphy, Jodie Comer, Ralph Fiennes, Aaron Kellerman, Edwin Riding, and Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Aaron Taylor Johnson. Yep. Yeah, he was. He's in it, and he's always good, with the exception of Kraven the Hunter.
What? So, did you see Kraven?
So I saw the first 28 minutes of the movie.
Oh.
Yeah, so Sony, I don't know why they did this. They leaked 8-minute. Well, I don't know, somewhere somebody was able to get their hands on the first 30 minutes of the movie and it leaked online. And I was like, that's enough for me.
Wow.
That's enough for me. Between that and reviews.
Okay.
I was like, yeah.
Yeah. I heard that the movie is bad, but Aaron Taylor Johnson is really good in it. Like, for what he's given, I guess he did really well with it.
That I can see. Yeah. Like when you go that far away from the IP, because Kraven the Hunter is probably, as far as Spider-Man Rogues Gallery is concerned, he's one of the top guys, and just the fact that you went so far away from his comic book origin, it's like, why? Yeah. Why, Sony? Yeah. Like, why? You own the rights. Like, it's not one of those things where, it's split between Marvel and Sony and this and there's some things you can do and some things you can't do. It's not that situation. You can stick to his comic book origin and be just fine, and would have been way better off. Yeah. But
somebody was also saying that they made several missteps with this entire movie, like from the writing, the production to release date, because there's theaters that were like, no, we're not going to release this in the theater because what else just came out?
Werewolf.
No, there's other holiday movies that came out that were still selling out. Like, I can't remember. It was a Pixar movie, I thought, but there's a couple of movies in the theaters that
was it Red One, the Rock's movie?
That's straight to Amazon. We just watched that. That's
it is straight to Amazon.
Yeah,
because it is in the theater as well.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
we saw it. It was good, by the way. But yeah, they said that there's certain theaters that aren't bringing that theater into their theaters because it's not going to make money. They'd rather make money off of whatever the other movies that were there.
Well, they were right, because opening weekend, Kraven did like $12 million.
Yeah, it was terrible. Yeah. So they just said that Sony just messed up the whole Spider-Man franchise. I think they had like. I can't remember which one they said that was a good one, but
there were no Sony's. So any Sony spinoff movie, that any Sony a Spider-Man movie that's not Spider-Man is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Was it Madam Web was sucked? Venom was Morbius terrible.
Yep.
So I did read that Sony is gonna stick to just doing Spider-Man stuff.
Okay.
So they have the Spider-Verse, which they're killing it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they're gonna be able to do a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie.
I heard it wasn't gonna be Tobey Maguire. It's gonna be the second one.
Andrew Garfield. Yeah,
I think Andrew Garfield.
Yeah. Which I hope, because he was my favorite Spider-Man, really. Andrew Garfield was my favorite Spider-Man. He got a lot of flack because he was supposed to be a high school student. He looked 45. But other than that, he was the best Spider-Man. I mean, I feel like when you get the humor and the comic book, you know, that type of feel, he did the best job. I might not get a lot of people agreeing with me on that, but yeah. 100%.
I can't imagine anybody saying Tobey Maguire was the best one. I mean, he was the first one.
To some people, he was the best, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay.
But yeah, they're gonna stick to. They got a new Spider-Verse movie that is coming out, and then I know they have the Spider-Man Noir project with Nicolas Cage coming straight to Amazon. But I think they're gonna stick with just Spider-Man stuff, and I gotta assume that the whole Spider-Gwen thing is still gonna happen. But
to circle back around to Gladiator 2, and then did they ever mention a Joaquin Phoenix or anything?
They mentioned him in the movie.
Okay.
How he was, how Maximus killed him.
Okay.
And how he was, viewed as a hero and stuff like that. So in the movie, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, but it's gonna be quick. So just fast forward about 30 seconds if you want. They do the son. As soon as Maximus dies in the original, they get him out of there immediately. It's like, you're in danger because you're the heir to the throne type thing.
Right.
And so they get him out there immediately. I didn't know how that was going to go down. That was an interesting part of the movie for me. But they definitely played to the original of Gladiator a lot.
Yeah. What was, the reason I asked about Joaquin, because it's like, stuff's coming out about Joker Ado, like the second Joker was terrible.
Yeah.
Everyone's hating it. And even the actors that were on the set were like, this is going to bomb.
Can you imagine being Lady Gaga's assistant? Oh. Like, shit, let me get some feathers from a ostrich, but it has to be an ostrich under the age of 6 months old.
Oh, stuff like that was happening?
Dude, I can just see her being that person.
Yeah.
Like the whole blue M&M thing, that's just this amateur hour. Let's raise the stakes a little bit.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. So I don't know. It was like such a brilliant actor Joaquin was or is, and like putting out like whatever that was, and I guess the opening scene is really cool, and then all of a sudden he breaks into a song and people are just like, like what is happening?
Yeah, no, it wasn't. And again, going back to the whole sequels thing, some things you just don't want to rush out and you don't want to make again, and I think that was obviously one of those movies,
But why make it a musical? Like somebody was speculating, like they made it into a musical because they were so embarrassed, or not embarrassed. They were, they had hoped that the Joker wouldn't attract the fans that it did. And it was this message where people, whatever certain type of people that it was, they didn't want that kind of fan base. So they did a 180 on it.
Really?
To try to get a different fan. Now, it's a conspiracy theory, but I mean, it's plausible.
I mean, what fans with money? That's all that matters. That's all that matters, dude. Yeah, it's like so comic book fans or comic book movie fans are all over the spectrum.
Yeah,
you got everyone loves this shit, dude.
Yeah.
And so for you to kind of like put a certain type of fan into a box, that's just silly. But it does make sense because they did do a total 180 on this, like making it. And so I thought that making it a musical was to play to Lady Gaga and have, kind of, shine a light on her as an actress and, play to her strengths. She's a singer. So that's what I thought it was. You know, I didn't.
Yeah, I don't know. We were like, okay, so we want to take A Star Is Born and just make it really dark and twisted. Like, I don't know.
But, you know, the whole fan thing might be some legitimacy to it because we were in the movies last night and these motherfuckers behind us were talking the whole time.
Oh.
They were just like mumbling. And it was one of those things, it was like a mumble.
Yeah.
Like, but the entire movie. I was like, come on. So when things were happening, you couldn't hear them, but if there was like a quiet part, then you can
turn around and say,
"Come on, man,
come on."
I wonder how many. So it was a Monday night, no, Tuesday night. It was a Tuesday night. So a lot of people not in the movie theater, and so I would say it was maybe like 12 to 15 people in the theater total. And I wonder how many of those people had those. You know, the subscription where you can go see a movie a week for free, pays like $20 a month or whatever, like a Regal plus whatever, because they seemed like they were real at home at this movie theater, dude. They had their pajamas on, they were kicked back, you know, just talking the whole time like they were in their living room.
Man,
like,
man, don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't do that, man. Why? Why is it so hard to understand?
Look at these two faces. Just don't do that. Don't do that.
I don't get it. Turn your phone off. We didn't get any phone stuff last night,
good.
thankfully, but that's the worst.
Yeah, that's
the worst, dude. Yeah. It's like it's almost like when the trailers start to come on, I'm looking like who's going to be the first motherfucker that phone goes off. Turn it off now. But yeah.
Man, wow. So in fight news, last week I had my first sparring session with
I was wondering if we were going to talk about it.
So I might make a short out of like a comedic short of our sparring session where so I woke up the next day and my head was filled with bruises.
Oh, yeah.
So I realized that I wasn't covering up. And he's like, I'm not going to hit you hard. And they weren't hard hits by
bruise.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at the size of the arms, like they weren't hard ass hits, but I was just like, oh my God, dude, there's not a lot of padding up here.
But that's normal though, you know, the first time, because you're not used to getting hit in the head, right? And so the first time or two, you'll bruise up, but then it'll stop.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the one thing I can say about Taras is that it's funny how much you realize that you don't have cardio, right? Because Taras works out. You work out at least 5 days a week, right? Yeah. And he does like hard workouts, like very like HIIT style. So he's in great shape. But my man was sucking wind like by the second round.
And I was watching it back and I could hear myself going gasping. It's like, damn it.
Well, like that conditioning, any fighter will tell you that condition is like second to none.
Yeah.
Like you being able to go in and do like a 3 or 5 minute round of sparring is like, you can run marathons, you can be like a top athlete, but when you get in there, it's totally different. Yeah. Because it's like not just the conditioning aspect, but it's the anxiety aspect too. Like your body is just like revved up to 1,000, you know, so.
And it is completely different hitting a heavy bag or a Thai bag and no one's hitting you back or no one's chasing you down. I was like, oh man. So today we went to the gym or rock box and my perception of the combos now, or what I was imagining now, was completely different.
Yeah,
so the focus changed. I was like, oh, all right. So anyway.
I can't wait to see it. Because like me, I've been, you know, I'm a professional fighter and I do this. And for me, I'm just like, I'm cruising. I'm just kind of laughing, cruising, just playing with them. And I didn't hit you hard at all. But some of the shots, even they're not, you know, meant to be hard shots. Some of the shots are just going to be, they're going to hurt.
They're going to hurt
because, you know, you're moving forward into a punch or going to the bodies. Yeah. So basic sparring etiquette is, you know, you go light because you don't want, we can say you don't want to break your toys. You don't want to hurt your sparring partners. But
is that what I asked?
Yeah, it's just a kind of basic saying that we use. No disrespect meant. But we go to the body a little bit harder because, you know, it's softer and, you know, you're not going to give somebody a concussion by hitting them in the gut. So we go to the body a little harder, and I did. And I'm like, so, you go like kind of real light to the head, and then you like rip a body shot, and my man's like, "Oh shit!"
Oh man, it's gonna be funny.
Yeah,
as soon as I get it together,
it was a blast, dude. You should keep doing it. You're like, because that's how you get better at it, and you know you become like you're a deer in the headlights first couple times, and then you start to loosen up and start to you know feel freer in there, and you know.
So did I pose any challenge?
I mean, yeah, because you're a grown man throwing his shots at me, so yeah, but very little.
It was so funny. Like, I go in and I'm like, okay, so I'm going to duck down and try to do a Tyson. I'm like, and he's just like, if you're going to get in, you got to stay busy. Yeah, I wasn't staying busy at all.
He was too tired to pull a Tyson off. So when you're we call it the phone booth or in the pocket, you don't want to be there and not offer any offense, because you're like, this is the closest you're going to get to this person.
Yeah.
And so, you got to be busy, attack the body, attack the head. And basic rule of thumb is anytime you go to the body, you immediately go back to the head with a shot, because some guys will eat body shots if they know they're going to be able to uncork a nice like hook to the head or something like that, because you're like in a great position for them to do that.
Yeah.
But if they think that shots coming to the head, the priority is protect themselves.
Yeah.
So the hands will come up and they'll protect instead of like just unleashing like fury on your cranium. So
yeah, I don't remember who the fight was. I think it was a recent fight, but a dude got caught with a body shot. Man, he dropped like a rock. Yeah. So whatever that part of the body that he got hit on was just that was it. That was a knockout.
The liver shot. Man, liver shots are brutal. They're the worst, man. In fight news, they're working out they contract negotiations for Floyd Mayweather versus Logan Paul.
What?
I'm sorry. Conor McGregor versus Logan Paul.
Yep.
So I would love to see that.
Wait, Logan Paul?
Yeah. Logan.
Why not Jake?
Not Jake.
Oh,
Logan.
really?
Yeah.
More money?
Yeah.
Because Logan, I thought he's just a pro wrestler, right?
Yeah, but this dude, he's still super popular. Like, so Jake is turning into the boxing guy, which he's still super popular, making a lot of money, but there is a cap. You know, there is a ceiling there.
Yeah.
But Logan has kind of transcended like this whole with the WWE thing. He was the first one to do the Floyd Mayweather thing. And it just makes sense. Floyd Mayweather versus Logan Paul, Floyd Mayweather versus Conor McGregor. Now Logan Paul versus Conor. It makes sense.
Okay.
You know, they're going to print money. I mean, Jake Paul's probably promoting the fight.
Yeah.
So everybody's going to cake up.
Because it seems like news about Conor is like kind of starting to go the other way.
Yeah, they are. So, he needs to strike now. He has been like, people are fickle and people forget, and it's been a long time. But he was able to stay kind of relevant because there was always the threat of him versus Chandler in the UFC. Then when that fight, it doesn't seem like it's going to happen. I don't think he wants that fight. No. He doesn't want to see that.
Well, I don't think anybody wants. I don't think even Dana wants him to fight. Like because of this whole thing about that woman that's like supposedly he sexually abused or something. There was something, but she's now, I guess it's gone to court and she lied under oath. So I don't know. That was a headline I read. I could be completely inaccurate, but so Conor's been kind of shunned.
Conor, he's still a cash cow for the UFC. And Dana will put him in there if he wants to fight. Dana will put him in there. He'll put him in there, dude. Yeah. But there's not many people who he could fight that he could like possibly beat and sell a fight. Like everybody in the top 3 to 5 are killers, man. He doesn't kind of go in there and get his brains beat in.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. I am venturing to say that we'll never see Conor McGregor fight in the UFC again.
Yeah.
But these prize fights that he's doing and making, a few million bucks per, why would you?
Yeah.
Why fight in the UFC when you can go in there, fight 8 rounds, probably a fix, and go in there and make some money. And
so it would be an MMA, or
it'd be boxing.
It would be boxing.
It'd be boxing. Okay. Yeah.
Oh.
Even though the Paul brothers, they both wrestle.
Yeah.
Pretty accomplished wrestlers, and both of them can box. So they could be a threat in MMA.
All right. That'd be interesting to see. I'll watch it.
I'll watch it for sure. I will watch that. I am more interested in that than Tyson and Jake.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I kind of knew how that fight was going to go.
Yeah.
Like,
people are still saying that Tyson could have won that.
Nah.
Like
Tyson,
who was it was man, it was a fighter. It was a legendary MMA fighter. He was like, yeah, he could have took him. He was just definitely not throwing the punches that he knew. Oh my God. It's like God, I can't remember. Not Hoist Gracie, but oh man, a legendary dude was just like, no, he could have.
Yeah, wasn't Randy Couture, was it?
No.
Yeah. No, I just Tyson is. It went down like I thought it was going to go down. There's no reason why Mike Tyson should be in there fighting, and I was. Like, we talked about it. I was like, man, Jake's gonna beat him, and you're like, what?
I didn't believe it.
Fighting is a young man's game, man.
Yeah.
And you got some guys that are sticking around a little bit longer and fighting at a high level at a little bit longer. But it's almost like the whole like rock star thing. It's like, or like rapper, rock star, whatever. When you become wealthy and you become accomplished, you start running out of shit there's to sing about, because when you're hungry, like, man, you got to get your next meal, you got to pay rent, you got to go in there, you got to rap like your heart like your well-being depends on it, because it does. But when you're multi-millionaire, what are you gonna rap about? Like nobody wants to hear you rapping about how your chauffeur didn't show up for his shift and shit like that. Yeah, same thing with fighters. Like, if you're like that's why Conor McGregor took such a heavy drop. It's like, now you're a millionaire, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you don't wake up at 6 o'clock a.m. to go to the gym and do what?
Yep.
You want me to run where? Like, hell no. It's very few guys Floyd was one of them, has that high level of wealth and fame and still did the work like he was hungry.
Yeah.
Not many guys do that.
Yeah. It's funny you should say that about music and the rappers. Like, I was listening to Mark Tremonti being interviewed, and he's like, Gen Z will decide what classic rock comes back, and that's why Creed's on tour, because all the Gen Zers are like, freaking
I went to Creed.
Yeah.
It was a great show.
And Mark Tremonti the dude is so talented. Like, he's in 4 bands. Obviously Creed. He's in his own Tremonti single show. He's also a Frank Sinatra singer. Dude, he is freaking amazing.
Wow.
And then Alter Bridge with Miles Kennedy. But so Mark Tremonti was saying, he's like, it's like harder to write music now because I'm not going through hard times anymore. He's like, I don't have anything to kind of write about. And so it was just since you brought that up, I was like, oh, that's a really good point.
Yeah, no, yeah. This, it's just the way it is. You get older, you get more established, and it's like you're not hungry anymore, man.
Yeah.
That hunger is what makes a great fighter, is that hunger, that you got to get up and get it. This might be, you might not eat tomorrow if you don't get it. That's why those kids in Thailand, they start, I think professional Thai fighters start at like 8.
Oof.
8 years old. You got guys retiring from being a professional fighter like 21 years old.
Yeah.
Just because for all those years they are just fighting, and they do it sometimes multiple times a week. Full out fights.
Yeah, like K1 matches, right?
Yeah,
they're just like
full out fights just to, put food on the table.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. Man.
Nope.
Yeah. I was going to bring up some other stuff, but I think we'll run out of time.
Yeah, we are running out. Real quick, 'tis the season. This is Christmas, so I don't know what you like. We have me and Jamie, of course, not you and I, because we're not married. We have gotten to the point where like gift giving between us two is kind of like we don't really do it too much. Get each other a little something, but we would rather spend our money on experiences.
Yeah.
So what about you and Wendy? How do you guys kind of the same or?
It's funny you should bring it up because Wendy and I she asked me this morning driving. She's like, so all kidding aside, like be serious. Did you buy me anything? And usually I try to surprise her with something like not crazy, but just it's usually an investment. I was like, no, I got nothing for you this time.
Yeah.
Seriously. And she's like, said the same thing. Okay. Experiences. You got one lined up?
Yeah. So we do an annual trip to St. Martin. Nice. We do that every January with a group of friends. We have a bachelorette in March.
Ooh.
So the way it worked is Jamie's going to a bachelorette and in Houston, and my buddy lives in Houston. And I was like, well, shit. You're going to be going. I might as well be going too.
Yeah.
And I've been wanting to see Joey for a while. So we're going to go out and I'm going to get my own hotel room. And I'm going to be up in their shit. And we're doing that. And then May, going to this wedding. June, I want to say we're doing Turks in June.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, we try. That's our thing, dude. We don't gifts. It's like whatever you want, just get it.
Yeah.
You don't have to wait.
We're heading to Cabo in January.
Shit! Don't drink the water.
Yeah. But, it's a mixed. It's going to be at the Hard Rock Resort, and there's actually a ballroom dance competition there. So we're judging it, but we've decided this time since it's so far, we're gonna just tack on a couple days before, a couple days after, and just chill at the resort. And but I heard Cabo is at least one of the we went to whatchamacallit, what's the other side in Mexico everyone goes to anyway, it's like a lot of the cities in Mexico you can't go because the cartel is gonna
stay on the resort.
Stay on the resort. So this one I heard Cabo is a little more safe. So
I think if you stay in the resort you're good. I've known like dudes who got like shaken down by the, maybe I shouldn't say anything. I have zero desire to go to Mexico. But if I did go, definitely resort. Resort.
But yeah, so that's going to be our thing. We're all about experiences now. But of course, if she buys me a guitar, I'll never say no.
Oh man, I just buy me some golf shit. I'll be good. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, show some love to your Alpha Geeks. And on behalf of myself and my homeboy Taras, we appreciate you tuning in. We'll see you on the flip.
See you.